What if the problem isn't effort?
Access. What if the problem isn't effort, but access? Every day people are ready to work, but are blocked by barriers: no identification, lack of childcare, justice involvement, no work history. Not because they lack motivation, but because they lack access. For too long, we've misunderstood the problem. We've blamed individuals instead of addressing the systems that hold them back. That's where Straight Up Employment Services comes in. We exist to bridge the gap between access and opportunity. We don't just help people find jobs. We create a system of change. We help individuals start their journey by building confidence and taking the first step. We stop the barriers that stand in the way by helping with identification, transportation, and real support. And we sustain success through job placement, retention, and long-term growth. This is about more than employment. It's about transformation, from feeling stuck to finding purpose, from surviving to building stability. With over 250 individuals served and a 75% placement rate, Straight Up is proving that when barriers are removed, people rise. Stronger individuals lead to stronger families, and stronger families build stronger communities. Barriers don't define people. Lack of access does. At Straight Up Employment Services, we believe everyone deserves a fair shot at opportunity. That's why we're launching the No Barriers campaign, a movement to remove the obstacles that stand between people and employment. You can be part of the
Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing. It's like all the way over there. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing.
What if the problem isn't effort, but access? Every day people are ready to work, but are blocked by barriers, no identification, lack of childcare justice involvement, no work history, not because they lack motivation, but because they lack access. For too long, we've misunderstood the problem. We've blamed individuals instead of addressing the systems that hold them back. That's where Straight Up Employment Services comes in. We exist to bridge the gap between access and opportunity. We don't just help people find jobs. We create a system of change. We help individuals start their journey by building confidence and taking the first step. We stop the barriers that stand in the way by helping with identification, transportation, and real support. And we sustain success through job placement, retention, and long-term growth. This is about more than employment. It's about transformation, from feeling stuck to finding purpose, from surviving to building stability. With over 250 individuals served and a 75% placement rate, Straight Up is proving that when barriers are removed, people rise. Stronger individuals lead to stronger families, and stronger families build stronger communities. Barriers don't define people. Lack of access does. At Straight Up Employment Services, we believe everyone deserves a fair shot at opportunity. That's why we're launching the No Barriers campaign, a movement to remove the obstacles that stand between people and employment. You can be part of the change. Share your story. Support someone's journey. Hashtag No Barriers on your social media, or sponsor a participant and help turn potential into purpose. Because when access is created, lives are transformed. Join us today. Be the reason someone breaks through. Hashtag No Barriers.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our final virtual employment support session for the month of May. This has been great. This month we've been discussing justice impacted, how to interview while being justice impacted, or having a background, or having some type of system involvement. Whether that's showing up in spaces to reflect with your trauma, or the things that you've been through, or how to interview accordingly, how to, be your resume, how to market yourself as a resume, how to understand what employees are looking for, how to project yourself to actually be just that, what employees are looking for. Today we're going to get into more of that. Our presentation today is on, let's see if I can pull this up for you guys. It's on second chance employment and workforce confidence. Sorry. Just really discussing that. So give me a second to share with you guys. All right, so hopefully everyone sees it. Test, testing. All right, perfect. All right, so as mentioned today, we are discussing virtual employment support. Thank you for being at our virtual employment support group. Let me exit out of this because I don't want to get it being a big screen right now, but hopefully everyone sees it. I want to thank everybody for showing up, whether you are online checking this out on YouTube, or whether you joining in on the Zoom. We are here to assist you with your active job search. We understand that when you're trying to rebuild and or support someone else job, or just looking for motivation, you got to know that this space is that judgment-free space. Straight up, we understand that people carry real life experiences into the workforce. Some of us have dealt with incarceration, whether that's foster care, whether that's homelessness, whether that's trauma, whether that's addiction recovery, instability in some form. poverty, mental health struggles, or simply not having opportunities handed to you. You know, here at Straight Up Employment Services, we understand that. Tonight is about understanding something important. You know, as mentioned this whole month, your past may explain your journey, but it does not disqualify you from your future. This session is not about pretending barriers don't exist. It's more about learning how to move through them strategically, professionally, as well as confidently. So I want you to drop one word in the comment that best describe how job searching has has currently for you and how that's been and how that feels for you. So let's break down what employers are actually looking for. So let's go into our session goals real quick. So tonight we're focusing on four things, right? Understanding second chance employment opportunities. What does that look like for you? What does second chance opportunities look like in communities? How does that look like when the opportunity is presenting itself? We're going to talk about learning what employers actually expect, building confidence during. We're going to talk building confidence during interviews as well as communication, navigating resources that can ultimately help support your long-term success as well. I'm actually between two screens, uh, I'm pulling up some information over here as well. A lot of people think that employment is only about resumes. However, it's not. It's really not. Employment is about confidence, right? It's about communication. It's about emotional regulation. It's about accountability as well as preparation. So some people in this space may already have those skills, those experiences and talent, but may struggle explaining what their background how it may translate professionally. So that's normal, right? We're not going to say that's not normal, but that's what we're working on tonight. So what is a second? So let's go into our next slide. What exactly is second chance employment? Let's discuss that. Second chance employment simply means that employers are willing to look beyond somebody's record, their background, or even their barriers, for lack of better terms. Give me a second as I log into here. And their barriers, for lack of better term. Now, let's be real. Not every employer is as open minded, but many are. And the workforce is changing. And we can say that a lot of employers are realizing that some of the hardest working people are individuals who had to fight to rebuild their lives. So second chance employment is about opportunities. It's about potential over perfection, accountability over excuses, as well as growth over labels. So think about a second chance opportunity as a way to rebuild yourself and to reprove yourself, right? And to show that through that situation, you were able to become this person that sees life totally different. This also matters for employers on the call, right? That may be chiming in and listening right now to this employment support group. People impacted by systems are often bringing resilience, that adaptability, those survival skills, emotional intelligence, as well as loyalty when supported correctly. And the key into that is when supported correctly. Like we want to make sure employers are supported when they're navigating a certain journey of their life. We want to make sure that we are actually employers are supporting that. So if we want, we can just write for employers for employers, how can you help, right? How can you be of support to people with justice impacted, who are justice impacted? You can first support. And of course, you can do that by learning, right? You want to learn more about what it is to be justice impacted, right? Not just a societal view, but support is a big thing. As we go on to slide 5, the next slide, on employer expectations. Let's talk about what employers actually pay attention to. When we think of people who are just as impacted, what does employers actually pay attention to? So, if when we talking being just as involved, but employable, what are they paying attention to? So let me just do this. Employers, I'm sorry, got this all wrong. Employers, what are they paying attention to? So let's think about it. A lot of people think employers only care about the records or resumes, but employers are actually evaluating a few key things. One is reliability, right? Two, attitude. They want to see if you got a good attitude, right? Communication. Couple of more. Professionalism, right, is one. Accountability. As well as good energy. You want to make sure when you are with employers and you have an opportunity to interview that you are bringing that good energy, and that's important. So I want to kind of put that in bold here. Energy is very important because that transcends to another person. So good energy is very important. Employers ask themselves, can I can I trust this person to show up consistently, right? Can this person communicate respectfully? Can this person handle connection professionally or correction? I'm sorry, professionally. Now, let's be honest. Some employers um, may judge based on background, but confidence and preparation can completely change the direction of an interview. In a real talk moment, you do not need to sound perfect, but you need to sound prepared, accountable, and focus on growth. So it's no need for perfection. When you're just as involved, you are employable. And remember this, there's no need for perfection. But there is a need to be prepared, right? There's a need to be prepared, accountable, and reliable. And as well, focus on growth because that's very important. So, what do you think employers misunderstand about justice impacted individuals? Drop it in the comment. Leave a chat. What do you think employers misunderstand most about justice impacted people? So, as we go on, a lot of people lose interviews before they even answer questions because they fear already took over the room, right? The nervousness, the consciousness, the not being able to be available pretty much took over the room. So confidence does not mean arrogance. So when we think about interviewing with confidence, this does not mean arrogance. Confidence means I know my past, right? But I also have some value. So let me just note that confidence means I know my past, right? What does confidence mean for justice impacted individuals? I know my past, but I have some value. That's confidence. To be able to understand that, like, you know, I know that I have a rough background, my upbringing was rough, etc., 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 but I hold some value in it, right? Very important. Very important. Some ways to practice confidence in interview spaces, right? You want to slow down when you're answering your questions. You want to think before you answer the question. You don't want to feel like you have the answer already, right? That can kind of show when your confidence is kind of transcendent to arrogance. You didn't even give the person a chance to finish his statement or the question. You just jumped to have an answer. Maintain eye contact. Maintaining eye contact is very important, if comfortable, right? But try to practice that because that shows some transparency, some honesty into everything that you're trying to say as well. Don't overshare your trauma. A lot of people go into these spaces, these interviews, and think that it's an interview like a therapy space. But in all reality, it really isn't because this is a space where you're supposed to be selling yourself and how you are growing, not spaces of where you should be reflecting on past trauma. Stay focused on solution and growth. A lot of people go into interviews and they always get this question mixed up. When they're asked, what was the last job you've been at? And then they feel the need to go off on a tangent about the last job. Instead of saying if you were let go, you can say some ways you have grown. Employers like to hear stuff like that. Practice responses before interviews. Don't practice to be a robot. Practice to how you can more feel how answering a question feel. Get practice that. Practice actually getting that feeling to actually answer some of those questions that may come your way. All right. And remember, interviews are conversations, they're not interrogations. So, you can actually practice with yourself, right? You can actually, have somebody ask you, tell me about yourself, right? You can have somebody ask you that question, see how you are able to answer it. That's important. So, we're going to get into how you can discuss your background professionally. We're going to get into how we can discuss how you can discuss your background professionally. This is usually the hardest part for people discussing their background, as we know. But here's the truth: you do not owe employers every detail of the trauma of your story, but your goal is honesty, accountability. You want to make sure that you're honest, accountable. You're showing growth, and then you're showing redirection as well as you're showing redirection towards your strengths. So you want to briefly acknowledge the challenge, right? You want to, some ways you can, kind of spark a conversation around. If you wanted to spark a conversation around discussing your background professionally, just 4 tips that I would say. You want to briefly acknowledge the challenge. You want to let your the interviewer know that it was a challenge, that situation of your life was challenging. So you want to briefly acknowledge that, right? as well as you want to kind of take accountability as needed, if needed, right? If there was a situation where accountability is needed, let's say you pled guilty to something, right? As well as explain what changed, right? Don't you want to kind of always get to that point where you're able to explain what changed? Where are you now? Um, what is different about you in that approach to things? Shift toward current goals. You want to shift towards your more current state of goals and where you at currently when it comes to your current goals. You want to highlight things like that. So take accountability, explain what changed, highlight current goals, and acknowledge the challenge. Briefly, acknowledge the challenge. All right. So even early in my life, I've experienced some challenges that interrupted my employment path. But since then, I've been more focused on personal growth, stability, as well as developing professionally. So I'm excited about opportunities to continue moving forward, right? So you see how I just said that statement? You believe what I said, right? That's how you want to sound. That sounds completely different than shame-based communication because a lot of people kind of want to place blame, place shame, and it's really not a space for it. It's a space to kind of show your growth. You want to avoid, for too much oversharing as well. That's very important. So let's go into slide 7, confidence building strategies. I think it's slide 7. A lot of people think confidence is just magically appears, or if, but it doesn't. Confidence is built through preparation and actual repetition of understanding and learning, and being confident about a certain subject matter to be able to discuss it in a way where you're not bothered by it, right? So let's put it like that. Confidence grows in 3 ways. I don't know if you all can see this. I'm hoping confidence grows in 3 ways. Let's put it over here, right? We're gonna block that off. 3 ways confidence grows. It grows in 3 ways. One is if you practice, right? So if you interviewing, you want to practice interviewing. You want to practice mock situations, answering questions that may be too complicated. And pay attention. And if you prepare as well, practice, preparation, and start believing that your life still has value of your life. In 3 ways, confidence grows. It's understanding that you have value of your life, practicing on that, and preparation and being prepared. All right, testing, testing. So for some people, systems taught them to feel judged consistently. I mean, I don't know if you ever been through a pre-trial process or going through court. That's pretty much the notion. You're pretty much judged. So, just giving some practical tips. You want to lay out your clothes before your interview, a night before, right? Make sure you have that laid out. Practice interviewing answers out loud. You want to practice interviewing questions aloud, right? Use positive affirmations. Understanding that using positive affirmations about yourself is how you can transcend to actual other people and that surround you or who you're trying to give that message to. You want to research companies beforehand, right? Understanding that researching companies beforehand is very important. to get that information in a certain interview, you want to research companies beforehand. All right. Also arrive early prior to the interview. You want to make sure you're about 5 to 10, 15 minutes early before an interview. Why? Just to get the scheme of the landscape. You might be pulling into the wrong parking lot of the area. Just getting there, may take some time. So make sure you're trying to get there early as possible. You want to follow up professionally. You want to make sure that your follow up is within a week's time of your interview, and then you're following up professionally. All right. So, what's one thing that can lower your confidence during the job search? Drop it in the comment, drop it in the chat, however you want to play it. So, we're going to get into some workforce navigation resources at this point as we conclude. One thing we always say out straight up is don't try to build that alone. Don't try to rebuild yourself alone. There are resources available. We are here to help you. As such, this is a virtual support training programs. You can log on to this training program every Monday at 4 p.m. to gather this information, to get understanding of what is really needed to actually, be successful within our communities. Now that's very important information. How can we shift from a framework of um, you know surviving to thriving? This is pretty much what we want to do. Create that level of access between that bridge and getting you to that opportunity is what we do here. Um, Reentry employment programs is very important. As we can link you to NJ New Jersey Reentry Corporation, we have linked several clients there, and they're still there thriving. Shout out NJRC McGreevy over there that's doing his thing. I see you. LinkedIn support. We completed last month, April. I think we discussed the importance of having LinkedIn and other digital footprints to be able to sell yourself in a professional manner. Apprenticeships, community referrals, mental health support. We have that linkage. Reach out to Straight Up Employment Services, go on our website and connect with us. A lot of people um, fail not because they lack potential, but because they lack those support systems. So reach out. And as straight up, this work is personal. We're not just throwing resources at people like, here, take this. We believe in walking alongside people while they rebuild, and that's with whether we are doing our employment coaching, or if we're doing resume assistance or workforce prep, or even virtual support groups. We are here for you. You know what I'm saying? So reach out. We believe people deserve opportunities beyond labels. And my lived experience in navigating these different systems has allowed me to be in this position to share this information for you guys, and so you can be able to, advance. We don't want, one thing that's changing, that'll change the landscape is if we have the information. So I'm here to provide you guys the information. Straight up support services is crucial because we are not just throwing resources, right? We really believe that we want everybody to remember that their story matters. The story matters. Your life experience matters. What you went through matters. But your future still belongs to you, right? Some people may have those shaky backgrounds. Some people may have been incarcerated. Some people may have been system involved. Some people may have navigated social service systems. As we know, that can be a beast in itself. So, um, but your future belongs to you. Employment is not just about survival at all. It's about rebuilding your identity, rebuilding that confidence, rebuilding that stability and that purpose. So keep that in mind. Some people will judge you based on your past. Don't get that twisted. Like, oh, no one's going to judge me based on my past. That's going to happen. That's what it's there for. But the right opportunities will recognize your growth and look past that. So you got to keep moving. And for employers listening, second chances save lives. So I'm gonna just mark that here. So for my employers, I want y'all to know this. Ultimately, second chances I'm gonna write this out for you. Second chances saves lives. To all my employees, second chances save lives. Um, thank you. So thank you, everyone. I know this was kind of brief, but I appreciate everyone for tuning in and logging into the support group. As this type of information is important as we look to navigate those complexities of getting into our back into the workforce and back into community and what reintegration actually looks like for us. So my name is Deshaun. I'm the founder of Straight Up Employment Services. I've been doing this work for about 20 years thus far. Well, that's probably capped about almost 20 years. But I launched this organization in 2023 um, as a way to give back, right? It's to understand that people coming home need those chances. They need people that been around alongside of them back in the day, I was always the type of guy that'd be like, yo, don't do that, don't do that, go this way, go this way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just doing that this way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful to be in this position. Straight Up Employment Services, we are the nonprofit, we are the leading, we are the gold standard for addressing justice impacted individuals and communities. And we really pride on that. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll just continue to grow. We will continue to grow. I will be sharing this video along on social spaces. I will be sharing these videos with our clients. Hopefully, our clients can really, take more interest into these virtual employment support groups as they have, and it's greatly appreciated. But we will be sharing these videos with our clients. We will be sharing this link, right? So, and we will be doing more charting, things of that nature, just to let y'all know we getting things done and doing it the right way. Thank you all for tuning in to the final week of Straight Up Employment Services virtual employment support group. Thank you all.